new day, and as has been our habit here at Sports Day, we like starting every week, every morning with you guys, and by bringing to you what's the latest in terms of cricketing developments, sporting developments that have taken place overnight. So, not moving away from that particular script, let's begin this week as well with the morning wrap. And there are a few stories that you would want to be knowing at this point. We're all awaiting a final confirmation from the BCCI as far as the resumption of the IPL is concerned. But there is one team, and let's start with that, that continues to train despite there being no clarity on the IPL as of now. Now, we've already told you here on Sports Day that around the 16th to the 17th, you could look at the resumption of the IPL. But the Gujarat Titans have nonetheless carried on with their training. We haven't seen that be the case with other franchises, but Gujarat Titans, they're on the top of the points table, remember, and they continue to train, so they don't want to be falling behind, and they're of the firm belief that at some point you're going to be getting good news as far as the IPL is concerned. So they want to be in that mold. They don't want there to be any sort of a break, and they continue to train in Ahmedabad. That's the one update that we have for you here. Speaking more about the IPL, now, as you know, the foreign players have gone back home. The Australian players have gone. Some South African players are here, but the others have gone as well. English players also have departed. But the one thing we're getting to know as far as Australian players is concerned, that you could not be looking at Australian players returning. Now, that comes across as a jolt, firstly, to the Delhi Capitals. They splashed a lot of money in excess of 11 crores for Mitch Starc. He may not be coming back, as is the understanding. Now, remember, Cricket Australia do have the WTC final to look at as well. So not just Stark, but some of the other players as well in Pat Cummins, Travis Head. Now there's nothing at stake for the two of them because SRH are already out of contention for a place in the top four. But as far as Stark is concerned, he could play a crucial role for his franchise, the Delhi Capitals. But the understanding at the moment is that Australian players may not necessarily want to come back, and if Stark doesn't come back, then for Delhi, who are already in trouble, remember, they've been undergoing a loss of form of late. The last 5 matches haven't gone as per plan. Even the match that got stopped midway, Mitch Starc was all over the place. But as a seasoned campaigner, you expect Mitch Starc to get better, and as was seen in the previous edition of the tournament as well, he really came good towards the business end of the tournament. But if Starc doesn't come back, it's going to be problems for the Delhi Capitals. They already are on an uphill, it's an uphill task for them anyway, but then that task becomes even more difficult. Will PBKs versus DCB played again, is what Sarthak Arya is asking. A very good morning to Sarthak Arya, Mukesh Kumar, freaking awesome, all of you guys joining us right now. Very good morning to all of you. Let me just answer that first. The understanding right now, Sarthak, is, and again, this is nothing official, but what I'm getting to know right now is if that match is played again, you'll look at it starting from scratch. So everything, all the good work that Punjab had done, well, that gets nullified, and you will then be looking at a restart of the match from the start. But when that match happens, we don't know. In fact, right now, what we understand here at Sports 2 is once the tournament starts, you are possibly looking at LSG versus RCB being the first game, and then you'll have to wait and see once the scheduling is done at what point that Punjab versus Delhi match is then held. Also, I do have the copy, today's copy of the Hindustan Times as well. Let's quickly tell you what is it that some of the other outlets are reporting at the moment, and we'll talk some football as well. Some movement in the there's something to talk about in both the Premier League and the La Liga for that matter. Let's in fact start with Neeraj Chopra. Neeraj Chopra is going to be participating in the Doha Diamond League, something that he'd won, a tournament that he'd won back in 23, and he finished second in the 2024 edition, as you would remember, with an 88.36 meter throw. He will now be getting the company of Kishore Jena as his fellow javelin thrower, and besides him, there are going to be two more Indians. There's going to be Parul Chaudhary. Remember, she is the record holder for 3,000 meters steeplechase. She holds the national record, and alongside her will be Gulveer Singh. Gulveer Singh also is the fourth member of the Indian contingent at the Doha Diamond League. He'll be making his debut this time around in men's 5,000 meter event at the Doha Diamond League, which will take place on the 16th of May. Now, like I said, let's touch upon some football developments as well. We saw an absolute thriller between Real Madrid and Barcelona yesterday, and that's meant that Barcelona have now gotten very close to the La Liga title. They are perhaps smelling it already. They needed this crucial win against Real Madrid, their arch nemesis, and they went ahead and registered that in some fashion. It was a classic encounter between the two sides. Real Madrid taking the lead with 2 goals, and it was an absolute goal fest that we saw in the first half with Barcelona coming back and mounting a comeback in the first half itself. Yes, Kylian Mbappe was to go ahead and complete his hat trick, but it was Barcelona that prevailed towards the end, and that meant that for the fourth time that the two teams met this year, it was all Barcelona, all four occasions. And we heard from wonder kid Lamine Yamal, there's nothing more that he enjoys than this particular moment of Barcelona going ahead and downing Real Madrid, and doing so 4 times is something that the 17-year-old absolutely loved. He also was one of the 4 scorers for Real Madrid, for Barcelona in yesterday's encounter. The one big clash that we saw yesterday in the Premier League, again it's done and dusted, but we saw we saw Arsenal give the guard of honor to Liverpool, who have already been crowned champions of England. As we know, we saw a thriller over there as well, because it was Liverpool who were again running away with the 3 points, but Arsenal did enough in the second half to ensure that they made that they got a draw out of it, and it wasn't all doom and gloom for them. Remember, they're already out of the Champions League. They don't have anything to contest for this year, Arsenal, so they needed this result. Arteta as manager really needed this result to go his way. And lastly, speaking about, in fact, two more things we can talk about since we're talking about the Premier League. We saw Chelsea take on Newcastle. That also was a crucial encounter, especially because both Newcastle and Chelsea are in the race for the top 4. You thought that there'd be some sort of fight from Chelsea, but that wasn't to be, because Newcastle went ahead and registered a 2-goal win over there. So at the moment, it's Newcastle that occupy the 3rd spot with 66 points. Man City are on 60. If I remember, they dropped points as well. And then there's Chelsea that with 36 games have 63 points. So things extremely hot as far as the race for the top 4 is concerned. And what's also hot at the moment is the environment in the Manchester United dressing room. Why I say that? Because troubles continue to mount. There was a 17th loss that Manchester United incurred in this season, and what that means is that they are very close now to that infamous relegation zone. They won't be relegated. The 3 teams are already relegated, and we know about that. But Manchester United have further slipped, and things aren't looking good for the club at the moment. They lost 2-0 to West Ham United, and despite being in a lot of control, you saw Manchester United give it all up, give it all away, and there was nothing for them. Ruben Amorim, in fact, speaking after the match got over, has for the first time since taking over at Manchester United, well, he's gone ahead and given us a little bit of a hint that his time could just get over this summer if things aren't to go, if he's not able to see some sort of a revival in Premier League form. Now it all boils down to that Europa League final that Manchester United will be playing against Tottenham Hotspur. They're already destined to finish at their worst finish, record their worst finish in the Premier League this year anyway. It all hinges on how they finish in the Europa League, and if things go south for Manchester United there, then you know that then it won't be surprising perhaps if Ruben Amorim is shown the door. Yes, he was only brought on earlier this year, that too midway through the season, but he also has hinted that he may have to vacate his place if he's not able to get some sort of a revival in the Premier League. We'll see how that goes as far as Manchester United are concerned, but things not improving at the club as has been the case over the last few months. So that's all as far as the morning wrap is concerned. Thank you so much for all of you joining us right now. But it's just the start of the day, so stick with us. If you're joining us for the first time, do go ahead and subscribe to Sports Today. And we're only getting started, like I said. So be with us right through the day and hit that notification button, hit that bell button, so that you get notified every time we have something new for you. Thank you. I'll take your leave and have a good day.